Hello, my name is Amy Sturkey. I'm a pediatric physical therapist. I'm here with Leah Smith, and we are on, gosh, is this 3?
I think.
Interview 3, speaking to her about her life. She is on the autism spectrum and more minimally involved, and I have not interviewed someone similar to her, so here we go. We were talking about how autism, being on the spectrum, affects your life. Can you tell me about your schooling? How you said you struggled with reading and writing and better in sciences?
So I guess more so reading than actually writing, because a lot of people who know me and have seen me write or seen pieces of my writing, they're like, oh my gosh, you're such a natural, like, have you considered an English major? And I'm like, mm-mm. Like, English majors? No, just no. Like, that is way too much reading, way too much paper writing, absolutely not. And I also know the job field is slim in the English major, so.
Okay, all right. So just generally then, how did being on the spectrum affect your school experience?
Not only like with reading per se, but I guess also like math. I mean, I guess probably because I overthought it a lot too, but just, you know, I'm just not good with numbers. Like, It's kind of ironic considering that science has math in it, but I'm more about like research, data, finding like, you know, cause and effect, I guess, more so, or stuff like that. But I guess going back to the whole reading thing, like, it was hard for me to comprehend, like, sometimes, like, just reading out, like, simple instructions that would make sense to someone who's not on the spectrum, like, do X, Y, and Z, and then this should result, versus I'm just, like, overanalyzing and kind of, like, reading in between the lines, like, kind of maybe overthinking it a little bit more, or kind of second-guessing myself, being like, am I doing this right? What if I mess up? Blah, 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 you know, just all these, like, thoughts of, like, okay, don't mess it up, don't misinterpret, but, like, I don't know, like, my brain just, I guess, like, overcomplicated things sometimes, like, in written expression, but, like, at the same time, I'm also somebody who's very detail-oriented and just, like, okay, like, if things are too vague, how am I gonna know, like, if this is the right thing to do? Right. Like, I don't know if that was, like, a side tangent that I just went off of, but, like...
No, it's good. So didn't you have to go to a special school or take special classes or have an IEP or?
No.
Oh, wow.
Since, obviously, like, it was much, I guess, like, a teeny bit later in schooling, like, late elementary, early middle school, but also just the fact that, like, it's harder, like, I guess it would have been harder for people to tell that I'm on the spectrum, but, like, I guess it wasn't as pertinent, or I don't know if that was the right word.
There you are, overthinking, maybe? Yeah. So as part of school experience is the relationships with other people. Did you find it harder to make friends, or did people give you a hard time because maybe your understanding of social stuff was not the same as other people, or tell me?
Definitely the socializing, like, I had, you know, like I said, I had speech therapy when I was like 3, but then it came back around full circle and I needed it again when I was 9. So
Really?
Like recently after getting diagnosed. So it made a lot of sense, like, to, you know, get me back into speech like several years later.
Now, was this articulation of speech, or was this social conversation, or what?
So, like, I guess, like, a lot of body language stuff, and stuff like sarcasm.
Those were hard for you.
Yeah, and I was
So
reading
more social
through
language.
I was reading some of my through some of my old speech notes that my mom held on to, and one of my biggest problems was pragmatic language, which yeah. So there was that struggle that was documented in my file.
So reading cues from other people and giving the appropriate cues yourself.
I guess so, yeah.
And you're Asian. How do you feel like that's affected you differently than if you had been a non-Asian person with autism?
I'd have to say, for starters, there's definitely a large stigma that surrounds mental health, behavioral health, and stuff like that in minority cultures, especially in Asian cultures, because there's that, I guess, stereotypical drive of parents telling their Asian kids, you need to focus, you need to really work hard so that you're successful.
Be perfect.
Oh, you're not perfect. Apply yourself more. Or, oh, you're really sad, and they think the kid is I'm really, really stressed and anxious. What do I do? And then they get shut down immediately because they're oh, just apply yourself more. Or, you're not trying hard enough, try harder, and stuff like that. So it's pretty common to see that, I guess, within the Asian community. And then when we, basically when we speak up, we get shut down pretty fast. And then when a real crisis really emerges, it's things have to get to a certain point of rock bottom or bad for a lot of Asian parents to typically believe their own kids. And it's kind of a sad truth, if I'm being honest, but something just, yeah.
You're adopted, so are you adopted into an Asian? Is your...
I'm not, so I'm adopted into a predominantly Caucasian family. I'm basically the only Asian, so there's that.
So seems like that would give you a double sense of feeling different.
Yeah.
Or maybe a triple, because you're adopted, you have autism, you're in a family that is not similar to yours.
Yeah.
And
yeah, definitely.
yeah, it's and do you think that your experience of that adds more stress, or what does it how does that affect you?
It's definitely can be difficult. I don't know, it's just a lot.
Yeah. And then you went to college.
Yep.
And how was that transition for you from high school, where you're more sheltered? Did you go away to college, or did you stay home?
I actually stayed local, so I went to Winthrop University in Rock Hill, South Carolina, which from my house is about 20 minutes of a drive, so I didn't have to live on campus.
Oh, you did not live on campus. Okay.
Because I lived so close to the school.
Right.
So I was yay, I don't have to live on campus. I can just commute and not have to spend so much money for living in a shoebox-sized room and having to possibly share a bathroom with an entire hallway of other girls or people, because I was that's just gross. So.
And COVID happened while you were in college, right?
Yeah.
And so you've already got several layers of stressors. I mean, COVID was pretty stressful generally. How did that affect you?
Definitely the fact that I'm Asian for starters, East Asian, specifically Chinese, and the fact that the former president of the United States was calling it the Chinese virus or the Wuhan flu or Kung flu or whatever the heck, fill in the blank basically.
Right.
It just wasn't helping the Asian community by any means by calling COVID that, because it was just opening the door for people to have a reason to be like racist, or I guess like for them to have a valid excuse to just be mean to the Asian community.
And did you experience people being unkind to you?
I did not personally, since you know, we're here in the Charlotte area, but I was still scared for my life because,
Really?
You know, East Asian, I feared, you know, that I had a social target on my back.
Really?
Figuratively speaking, and like, it was just, like, I was just terrified to the point where I didn't leave my house for like 6 or 7 weeks straight. Like, I didn't even set foot outside my own front door. Like, I was scared.
So it sounds like many people were very anxious during that period, and I know other people who did not want to go out, but the combination of all those other stressors and COVID made it really, really tough for you.
Yeah, and also with COVID, online learning, I learned it was not for me. We don't mix.
Yeah, that's true for a lot of people, but it sounds like particularly true for you.
Yeah, my motivation went downhill real fast, especially with online courses.
Right.
It was just terrible, especially having to finish Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2, both lectures and labs online, and chemistry, and statistics.
Wow.
It was terrible.
But
I hated it.
You made it through, you graduated.
Surprisingly, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Congratulations.
thank you.
All right, I know you're not going to believe it, but we've done it again. Another 10 minutes has popped by. I'm enjoying so much talking to you, and I really appreciate and am so happy to have your perspective, because clearly our lives are different. And one of the reasons when I met you, I wanted to interview you is because I knew you could bring a different perspective. And I think the way you change people's perceptions is you let people meet you and meet people like you. And I think after they hear your story, they're less likely to be judgmental. I appreciate you being willing to share the scary parts of your life for people. It means a lot.
It's definitely something that I've contemplated a lot, that's for sure. But also, like, I was like, you know, might as well be time to, you know, definitely step out of my comfort zone, and also knowing that, like, I want to make a difference in the world we live in. Like, you know, going into OT as an Asian who's also on the spectrum, and because my logic is, if I don't step up and do it, then who's going to? Like, who's going to start that path or trailblaze a path, or however that saying goes? I don't know. Just like if I don't do it, then who else is going to do it?
I think having more diversity in our profession is really critical, but I think also your perspective as someone who's on the spectrum, especially since I work with so many people who are on the spectrum, having someone who can relate and can present your life experience would be really powerful as a therapist.
That's what I'm aiming for.
All right, I hate to do it, but we're gonna have to stop this video and we'll start up on the next one. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
If you liked this video and would like to be notified by email when the next video comes out, click the subscribe button here and click the golden bell icon and ensure notifications are enabled on your account.